Who walks away as the American League East divisional winner in 2022? I have my predictions. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And as I said in the open, we continue and round out our series here on my predictions for the divisional rankings in 2022. This, to me, was the most difficult list for me to make. Now, yes, there is some personal bias. Obviously, as being a Yankee fan, I want to always see my team end up in the best light. But is that going to be the case? Let's get into it. Now, number 5 is without question, obviously, the Baltimore Orioles. There's very little question and very little doubt amongst anyone that watches this game that the Orioles are going to be the 5th place team in this division. They have not a lot to look forward to or be excited about if you're an Orioles fan in terms of competing for the top of this division. I think there are still some players that you can get excited about, but being the way that the Orioles have kind of set up, they're more than likely going to be traded when they start having those breakout seasons this year. Going into the 2022 campaign, Baltimore is going to find themselves in that last place spot in a very, very tough division. Playing in arguably, in my opinion, the most tough division in all of baseball for the 2022 campaign. As we get into the number 4 spot, here's where the controversy starts. The Boston Red Sox, to me, are the number 4 team. Now, there are some things to be excited about. The acquisition of Trevor Story is a very big move for Boston. One, you're going to slide him into second base, solidifying a position that to me has not been solidified for Boston since the departure of Dustin Pedroia. I also think that there's an opportunity that if Xander Bogaerts were to depart from the Red Sox following this season with his opt-out, that they can shift Trevor Story over to shortstop. If Trevor Story is healthy, this is something that we covered here on the channel. This is going to be a very, very good move for Boston. His ability to get back to being an elite defender is going to help them without question. On top of that, if there are still some arm issues, by playing second base, it's going to help eliminate some of those issues in terms of his throwing ability and the strength and power needed to make some of those throws that would have been in the shortstop hole will now no longer be the case at second base, bringing him much closer to first, making it much less of a problem. I also think that there's going to be questions about this pitching staff. Now, yes, there are some guys to be noted and be excited about if you're a Red Sox fan, but there's going to be questions throughout this pitching staff and whether or not they're going to be able to sustain a long-term push over 162 games. If you are a Red Sox fan, you're going to probably disagree with this, but let me know your thoughts in the comments where exactly you truly believe, objectively speaking, that the Red Sox will end up. Now, as we look at the number 3 team on my list, it is that of the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, Tampa is always a team that seems to find a way to be a pesky team for everyone else in this division. They seem to find a way to get players to play up to their maximum level potential while minimizing and mitigating some of the risk that comes with playing them. But I also think that there has to be some sort of regression to the mean for a team like the Tampa Bay Rays. While to me they have one of the best managers in all of Major League Baseball in Kevin Cash and one of the best front offices in all of Major League Baseball, there's still going to be questions about what this team is going to be capable of producing. I also think that we start to see a little bit of a change in the mindset for Tampa Bay. I don't know that they think that they're truly going to be able to compete at the top of this division long term and may start to see a little bit of a rebuild and start balancing out some of their talent and moving it away. If that turns out to be the case, to me, Tampa Bay will end up no better than 3rd. Now, as we get into the number 2 team on my list, it is that of the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto has made a lot of bold, big splashes this offseason, signing Yusei Kikuchi, trading for Matt Chapman. There's a lot to be excited about as a Blue Jays fan. Now, there's going to be questions as to what this pitching staff is going to be able to do in an uber competitive American League East division. When you look at what some of these starters that they brought in Kevin Gausman and Yusei Kikuchi, are they going to be able to sustain the high-octane environment of Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Baltimore, and Camden Yards? Are they going to be able to pitch in these very high offensive environments? That remains to be seen. That to me is going to be the biggest question mark about this Toronto Blue Jays team. There's very little doubt their offense is absolutely going to rake. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Matt Chapman are all going to have monstrous seasons. George Springer is going to get back to being one of the best center fielders in all of baseball. And Teoscar Hernandez is one of the most underrated players in the game. So when you look at what this Blue Jays team is going to be, they're going to be an offensive force and a juggernaut. But the question is going to come with their pitching staff. Therefore, to me, they land at number 2. Therefore, number 1, yes, probably the most controversial of these lists that I have put together. But to me, the New York Yankees are the number 1 team. And the reason why I say that is not just as a Yankee fan, but I think that when you look at how this team was constructed, yes, there was a lot of question marks. There was a lot of speculation and a lot of uproar from Yankee fans when no big-time free agents in terms of Freddie Freeman, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story were signed. When you look at how this team was created, however, they are a significantly better team than last year. And I say that because the defense has improved. Overall, their pitching staff has improved. Because if you have Luis Severino, who is now healthy, getting back to his 2019 and prior form, this is one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. You pair him with Garrett Cole, James Centyon, who's going to be healthy, and then you have a guy like Nestor Cortez Jr., who is constantly changing arm angles and disrupting hitters' timing, and Jordan Montgomery, who can also serve some of those same principles, who is a modern-day Andy Pettitte, in my opinion. This is a pitching staff that is very underrated. When you look at what their bullpen has, there's a lot to be excited about. You have guys who are able to throw nasty breaking balls on top of very high velocity pitches. Now, yes, high velocity can be hit, as we've seen through the last couple of postseasons. But I think when you now have different guys in that pen that you can roll out there and guys that you can bank on, there's an opportunity for this team to really stand out amongst the pack. Improving that defense, to me, and getting a little bit more athletic is really going to be what helps this New York Yankee team bring back and solidify themselves as the top team in this division. When you have guys like Josh Donaldson, who's likely going to be hitting 5th or 6th or possibly even 7th in this order, who's capable of hitting you 25 to 30 home runs, there's an opportunity here for this team to really push past the rest of this division, get back to being the number 1 team in all of Major League Baseball. We'll have to wait and see how the league shakes out, but for me, this year in 2022, the AL East divisional rankings are the Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, Red Sox, and then the Orioles. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. I know you're probably going to roast me in the comments for it, but I think that there's a real big shot for the Yankees to be the number 1 team in this division. But let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Find me over on Twitter at JLaracuente19 if you want to continue the discussion. And keep it locked into the entire JLMG family with We Sibs, the Grand and Geek Show, and of course here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. For sticking around to the end, use promo code BANTER to save 5% off your order on baseballbanterbroadcast.com, our merchandise shop. Keep it locked in all season long as I continue to bring you the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.